Welcome to Mike Price Dog Training. I'm Mike Price. This is my buddy Milo. Today we're gonna work on the Leave It cue. So we're gonna work on three different versions of Leave It. One of the versions of Leave It is gonna be Leave It. I have treats in my hand and I want the dog to leave the food that's in my hand. The next version is gonna be I have treats on the ground and I want my dog to leave the treats from the ground. And then after that, I'm gonna demonstrate how you can actually do Leave It when you're leash walking. So leave it on the leash so that when your dog is walking up to a temptation, your dog actually leaves the temptation. All right, so the first one, leave it from the hand, is going to go like this. So I'm going to make it really, really easy in the beginning. So don't hold the treats right out to your dog's face. Hold them up really high so that it would be really difficult for him to get to them anyways. And I'm going to make sure that whatever treat I reward with, so this is going to be the reward hand, so I'm going to hide that behind my back, is either the same treat that I'm asking the dog to leave it or something better. And the reason being that if the dog leaves it, I want it to be really reinforcing for him. I don't want it to be like, that he got a lower value treat for that. I want to make sure that it's reinforcing for him to have left that item. So make sure it's higher value or equal value when you do that. All right, so I'm just going to hold it up really high. And right when I present, it's going to be leave it right when I show it, not hold it out and then say leave it. It's leave it right when you show it. Leave it. You could even leave it like right before you show up, but the timing has to be that right when that thing happens, because otherwise it's like you haven't said leave it, so he could be tempted and jump at the hand initially. You want to make sure that the cue that he's hearing is leave it. All right, so leave it. Yes, good, awesome. All right, so what I'm looking for then is for Milo to uh, look away from the hand when he hears the cue, leave it, for him to go, he's looking at it, and then for him to look away. He could look over even at my treat hand for now, at the other hand, or just look away. Even if he accidentally hears a noise and looks away, I'm going to encourage any kind of look away from the treat hand when we do this leave it exercise. So let's try this again. I'll make it a little more challenging since Milo was really good at it from up there. Leave it. Oop. So I pull the hand away if he jumps at it. Leave it. Oop. Let's try that again. Leave it. So now I'm going to make it easier. So I did three in a row. They didn't work. So now I know that I got to make it a lot easier to make sure that Milo gets a win and doesn't get totally frustrated by this. Leave it. Yes. Good job. Awesome, buddy. So he does a quick head turn. So you're going to have to, your yes is going to have to be pretty solid on this to mark that. Leave it. Yes. Awesome. Good job, bud. So now we're going to go a little bit further down. So now when I progress to the next step, I usually like to go, when I start to go further down, I like to go a little bit further away this way as opposed to going right in front of the dog's face. All right, so you ready? Leave it. Yes, good. So notice I went a little bit further away from him when I did that. So let me stand this way so that you guys can see that. Leave it. Yep, so he went for it. Leave it. Yes, good boy. Even offering up a down or a sit, you could reward that stuff in the beginning as well. Eventually, what I'm going to look for is for him to actually look up at me. So I might prompt a little bit sometimes when I'm doing this cue, but I don't want to over prompt. So I might do a kissy noise. So like if I'm having trouble and the dog is just so focused on the treat hand, I might do a little like that just to get him to look so that I let him know in the beginning that that is the behavior I'm looking for. I prefer to not really introduce the prompt unless I really, really have to. I usually like to see if I can just catch the dog looking away or offering something else up so that he's actually figuring it out and it's not about me doing he's not like just waiting for me to do the prompt. All right, you ready? So let me hide this on. Leave it. Yes, awesome, good job. Now he kind of went for it, so I could have pulled my hand away, but I had a feeling that he was going to stop before he actually went for it. Leave it. Yes, awesome. Okay, so now we're getting lower. Now I'm going to try to get really, really low on this next one. And if he's in a down, that's fine as well. I can still do this exercise when he's in a down. Leave it. Yes, awesome. Good job. Leave it. Yep. Leave it. Yes, good job, buddy. Good. Now, another point to make when you're doing this leave it exercise, leave it means leave it, don't ever go for it. Make sure that when you're practicing leave it, you don't give the dog the treat afterwards, because he'll think leave it means leave it for a second and then go for the treat. So make sure that you're not actually giving him, treat him from the other hand when you're doing this. Don't actually give him the treat that you're asking him to leave. All right, you ready for this again, buddy? Leave it. Yes, awesome, good. And I was a little delayed on my leave it. It was a little bit after, but he responded to the word, so that's great. You ready? Leave it. Yes, good. So now he's smart. He knows that it's coming from that other hand, and I had it exposed a little bit, which helped him out a little bit. So that's a little trick that you can do in the beginning as well. So now I'll hide it a little bit more. Yeah, you shoot him a little too fast there, buddy. All right, you ready? Come here, let's back up so that they can see. Leave it. Yep. Leave it. Leave it. Yes, good boy. Good. So I like even just saying leave it like right before I present it to him too. Leave it. Yes. Awesome. Good job, buddy. Get this treat ready. So get a little bit lower. Leave it. Yes. Awesome. Good job. Good boy. Now I'm going to try to get a little bit closer to him and see if I can get it to happen from there. Leave it. Yes. Awesome. Good job, bud. Leave it. Yes. Good. Okay. So that's your leave it cue. And then as the days progress, you'll get a little bit closer. Milo's practiced this a little bit, he's actually got it down a little bit. It might take you a little bit, a couple more days of developing that. So that's leave it.